Hello friends, I am Dr. Vivek and today I am going to discuss about modernism. This is an important theory, important aspect, movement you can say in literature, and it has an important role in literature, especially because I have been discussing about literature. So I would talk about the role of modernism in literature. Though this movement basically came in it's an avant-garde movement, and it is in the different aspects it has along with the literature. It has a great role. Basically, it came in painting, sculpture, architecture, and music, and literature, of course, in literature. So this is modern, basically, movement is against the traditional thinking, traditional ideas. It's a new movement, new theory, uh, dynamism. Uh, Means when you get bored from the traditional working, traditional style, traditional ideas. You want something new. So this newness, which is something different, this newness comes with this theory called modernism. And uh, this theory is, I love modernism because this is coming with the new idea, new thinking, new challenges. Uh, Apart from leaving these traditional thinking, traditional ideas. So, in literature, what new comes that we are going to study in modernism? So, modernism is the name of the movement that dominated the art and culture of all of the first half of the 20th century. Uh, it started with the First World War, 1914 to 1918. So it started in the 19th century and the end of the 19th century. So this newness, uh, this freshness is coming through this modernism, theory of modernism. This movement brought down the practices of pre 20th century in music, painting, literature, and architecture. This newness is coming. It started in the pre 19th century and started. In painting, music, literature, architecture. The major center of this movement was Vienna during the period of 1890 and 1910. So this European countries were the center of this movement called modernism. So what this newness, what this new ideas are coming that we are going to discuss. Its effects were felt in France, Germany, Italy, eventually in Britain in the movement called Cubism, Dadaism, Surrealism, Futurism. So these are very important movements which came into modernism. Cubism basically is an artistic movement in music, literature, painting, and architecture. Dadaism is the artistic movement. It's a reaction to the senseless slaughter of the trenches of World War First. So people were dying in trenches. They were fighting. So that the slaughter, there is a reaction against that slaughter in the trenches. Surrealism is the avant-garde movement in art and literature to show the potential of unconscious mind. So now with the Freud's theory, this role of unconsciousness, what it has role. Earlier, it did not heed on what's this all about, but now there is a great role of unconsciousness. So how how this potential of unconsciousness is coming, that is through surrealism. And futurism is a Italian art movement and depiction of movement and dynamism is coming through this movement called futurism. So these are the different parts, you can say, different movements along with that comes under the modernism. All the most fundamental elements of practice were challenged and rejected. So fundamental things, the old ideas, traditions, they were challenged and rejected in modernism. Melody and harmony were put aside in music. Perspective and direct pictorial representation were abandoned in painting. So there is a very direct depiction of man, women in painting is rejected here. So harmony is regarded as beautiful, but here it is protested. The melody is protested, and that is not regarded as a good idea or good thing in art and literature. So that is, we have an idea that melody and harmony are essential in literature or painting, but here this movement was against it. Traditional forms and materials were rejected in favor of plain geometrical forms. So traditional forms in modernism, the traditional forms of writing, especially in literature, traditional forms of painting in literature, in architecture, these were, and these kind of materials and forms were rejected in modernism. If now we talk about the literature, the role of modernism in literature. In literature, there was the rejection of traditional realism. Traditional realism means chronological plots were rejected. Continuous narratives, there is a continuity with the same technique of storytelling is rejected. Rendered with the omniscient narratives and omniscient narrative is introduced in literature. Close ending rather than the open ending is follow. These things are followed. So there is the newness in literature, new forms, new style is accept. Styles are accepted in modernism in literature in favor of experimental forms of various kinds. So these are the things which were happening. These were accepted. That was done in literature in modernism. Period of high modernism was of 20 years, from 1910 to 1930. Some of the proponents of this movement were the famous writers of this movement were T.S. Eliot, a very important writer. James Joyce, stream of consciousness technique was adopted by James Joyce. Ezra Pound, symbolism, introduced a very important figure of symbolism. Wyndham Lewis, Virginia Woolf, Wallace Stevens, Gertrude Stein, uh, Marcel Proust, Stephen Mallarmé, Andre Gide, French Kafka, and Rene Maria Rilke. So these are the important figures, important writers who accepted this new form of writing called modernism. There were many more writers, but these are the important one who were writing in modernism, who accepted modernism. So, some of the important characteristics of modernism. Some important characteristics, the features of modernism are in literature, especially omniscient third person external narrative instead of first person and second person. Previously, first person narrative style was regarded as a good narrative style, but here the modernism, the omniscient narrative, that is third person narrative style, was accepted. Fixed narrative point of view and clear cut moral positions were accepted here. A new emphasis on impressionism and subjectivity, that is one how that is on how we see rather than what we see. So impressionism, how you see it rather than what you see it, and that is something different. Say what you are seeing, what you are observing, rather than how you see, with the different angles, different thinking, what other idea is coming to your mind rather than the traditional thinking, traditional idea. So new ideas were accepted here in literature. Blurring of distinction between the genres, so that novels tend to become more lyrical and poetic, and poems more documentary and prose like. Prose and poetry were mixed. There is no different genres as such as we had earlier. The prose and poetry in novels, you find lyrical qualities in novels, and in the prose you find more lyrical qualities in prose. And so this is a mixture of two genres. There is no hard and fast differentiation between two genres. So there is a mixing of different genres you find in modernism. A new liking for fragmented forms, discontinuous narrative, and random seeming collages of disparate material you find in literature. The fragmented forms, there is no continuity, there is a discontinuity narrative style. One thing is said and then something other thing has been talked about. It's not a continuous narrative style here. uh, is followed in modernism. It is regarded as good. There is accepted forms, you can say. You find in Portrait of the Artist as a young man, the first and third person narrative styles. And you find in the genres, particular narrative style has been used throughout the novel, for like first person or second person or third person. But here, the two narrative styles were mixed. First person and third person narrative styles has been mixed. So there is different. That is something new. So newness, as I told you, from the traditional thinking, traditional ideas, this movement was new in literature, and basically the acceptance is there in this. That's why it has been written, and that is why the people are giving their ideas, and they were executed those ideas in literature, and that is different. And this differentness, this is something which is coming in literature. That was not only in literature, but in music, in painting, in sculptures. New sculptures were coming, architecture, yes. So yes, in literature also it came. So this thing, this what is the new, you have to find out. Write in the comment box what newness, more newness were coming in through this new movement called modernism. So thanks for listening, thanks for watching this video.